Good morning, good morning, good morning, and thank you for joining us on another Saturday gorgeous morning. We have Dave, the business bully, here, going to give you some tips and some things on how you can expand and do some things with your business. A lot of those entrepreneurs out there, especially with the pandemic, are going through some times and troubles, and a lot of them don't have the money and the resources to do what they need to do for their business. So you always were bringing it here. Dave is going to give y'all some things on what you could do and how you can get in touch with him for more information. But Dave, tell them about you.
Yeah, I am an entertainer turned entrepreneur. I started my career at 9, retired from broadcast and entertainment when I was 34. 43 now, so I've been at this full time for the better part of a decade. So, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. I'm a business coach and ready to rock and roll.
I love those numbers, 34 to 43 to 7 and 7. It's like a whole a little 7 shift right there.
Yeah.
Just transparent. So in your business, tell us just like, as far as your coaching, what is the main thing that people are coming to you for that they are just really struggling with right now in business?
Direction, understanding, and the fact that they try to make it more difficult than what it actually is. A lot of times people are looking for a microwave. I don't sell microwaves. I sell real slow, um, you know, crock pot, slow cooker type of situation. Work works over time. Like microwave stuff, it's never hot in the middle. You know what I'm
Is
saying? On the
never hot.
surface, it looks hot. You stick your finger in it. Ooh, it's cold. Ooh. My whole thing is I teach people the importance of getting out of your own way. And I'm a big believer in massive accountability because if it's everybody else's fault, you can't fix it.
Right. And that is like really, really huge. And I know I talk a lot about that as far as getting out of your own way and definitely being accountable, because it starts with self-awareness. When you know who you are, you know what your journey is, you know what your goals are, you know what your plan is. And if you don't know what your plan is, I mean, Dave got you. You have to have that plan. You have to know where you're going, and you have to be able to see and envision where you're going so you can produce it in your reality, in your outside world.
Absolutely. And it's important. A lot of us don't have a vision. A lot of us see somebody else doing something. Oh, they're doing look at what Desiree is doing. I should do that too. And they have absolute, some people don't need to be a host. Some people don't need to moderate. Some people don't need to interview folks. Some people don't need to have an Etsy shop. Some people need to stay as far away from sorry.
No worries.
Some people need to stay as far away from Shopify as humanly possible. And what happens is we're trying to see what other people's blessings are and then try to replicate them for our lives. And that's not how any of this works. And what happens is we miss out on who we're supposed to be because we got our eyes on somebody else's paper, both literally, financially, and figuratively.
Right. Because they're looking at what you look like, what you're driving. They're looking at the exterior of this person. But what builds you is the experience to your purpose. It's like that journey is not seen. You don't see that journey that they go through before they get to where they are, and how much work they put in, how much they had to read or research, and how much growing they had to do personally. And everybody's journey is not everybody else's journey. I remember hearing, I forgot who it was, but it was about basketball players. You see all these little boys see these basketball players and everybody wants to be an NBA player, but then actually look at NBA teams compared to how many people want to play in the NBA. It's very slim. It's almost like lawyers. Everybody wants to be a lawyer, but if you can't pass the bar, which is one of the hardest exams ever, you can't be a lawyer. But who is meant to be is going to be in a lot of these exams, and a lot of these trials and tribulations and things you go through is meant to build and strengthen you to see if you are able to do that thing you're trying to do. And being accountable, people don't want to say, they don't want to believe that they're the problem and they suck at something. Mm-hmm. I'll tell anybody, I'm not great at everything, but my ego and my consciousness, of course, tells me I'm great at everything, but you just really got to understand you're supposed to feel like you're amazing and great at everything, but you have to find out what you actually can do. Mm-hmm. You can't do everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna full transparency here, Desiree. I used to think like that. I used to think, oh, I got to be great at everything. No, mm-mm. Nope. I'm gonna tell you, sure, I'm not organized. I am not. If you leave it up to me, it ain't gonna get done. I'm not that guy.
Right.
But I have people who specialize in my weaknesses working with me, and working for me. And as a result, I'm able to be spectacular at what I'm really good at. I'm great. I'm like phenomenal at the big picture. I can look at anybody and tell them exactly what they need to do and how they need to do it based upon, a specific set of parameters. Like that's my gift. I would love to run from it because truth be told, I'd rather be a trash man. Like they get a nice pension. They get to ride on the back of the truck all day. Ain't nobody bothering them. You know what I'm saying? Like the phone got to stay in the locker room. It's not, ain't no wives calling you nothing. You can just, oh, here come the trash. Now you smell like hot trash truck juice when you get back, but them benefits is crazy. But the truth of the matter is, I understand that. And what we do is we listen to our grandmama and mom and them tell us, oh, you got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. No, I'm not here to fix me. I'm not, I'm not a folk rock song. I'm not trying to fix myself. Okay. What I'm trying to do is find people who can do the things that I'm weak in. We have this Jerry Maguire mentality in business. You complete me. And the truth of the matter is that's not even what the guy said. He says, you make me feel complete. So
Yes.
that's a world of difference. Thank you very much. And what happens is you want somebody who complements you. The right hand ain't the left hand. They look alike, but they're different. The only time they're facing the same direction is when they're going in the opposite path. You feel me? So you want something that's going to complement you, right? And
Yes.
when we have complementary pieces in place, then we can really get down to who we are. And you shouldn't be building a business until you know who you are, because if you can't tell your audience who the person is that stands behind this business, then why should they invest in you?
Boom. I talk about that often, and I like tell people. A lot of people ask me, Desiree, how come you haven't been coaching? How come you haven't been doing this for all this time? Because my focus is on being a construction project manager. I wasn't thinking about coaching. That wasn't my
Right.
focus. So you get what you focus on. So that was my focus. But like I tell people, until I am comfortable in being able to produce what I know that I can produce, then I'm not going to go out there and say and put a coach on my title. I'm not going to do it just because I want to get paid. I'm not going to do it because everybody else is doing it. And then they're like, well, what kind of coach are you? Well, then when you're getting these questions, I'm not going to jump into business and say, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'll figure it out along the way. I'll fake it till I make it. I don't believe in that whole statement, fake it till you make it. I believe in learn it till you earn it. And I went and learned and researched and worked on myself. I did, self-development work. I did personal awareness work, my social awareness work. I've done deep, like years of studying and work to make sure when I step to the table and say, I am a coach, that the confidence come out of my mouth to let you know I've done the work. The
Mm-hmm.
words that I'm using telling you that I did the work, because there's certain words that I'm using. So when I'm talking to you, you're like, she really did the work. And people have to understand that getting out of your way means that you have to understand that there's parts of you that are failure related. And those are
Yep.
your weaknesses. And if you are in that and you keep failing, you could fail forward, but your failing forward has to be built in knowledge and understanding. And it's not just getting the understanding and the knowledge to do what you got to do. It's the experience
Yes.
and to give you the wisdom. Until you actually do the thing, you have no experience in it. You
Right.
can't be looked at as the GOAT. You can't be looked at as any of that. And that's the work behind the scenes. You have to do the work. And once you realize through self-awareness and personal development where my weaknesses are, where I'm just not great at, like me, I am not technically inclined. So for me, being a solopreneur and starting off in coaching, it has been like, some long nights and early mornings trying to figure out these programs and trying to understand, how do I do this streaming? I want it to look good. I want to stand apart. I don't want to, well, everybody just grab your cell phone and just start videoing. That's not me, because now I'm not showing and depicting who I am. And I am a perfectionist, and it's not always good, but I want it to look a certain way. I want it to not be mediocre. And I'm
Let me
not going to
wait.
step out that way.
Hold on. Excuse me. One second. You know what this is? This is
I
my
can't really
this is my
say.
Desiree beater. I'm about
I
to beat
need it.
this is my fact stick. I'm about to beat you upside the head with my fact stick. First of all, you are not a perfectionist. That's what you hide behind.
Yes.
Secondly, spending late nights trying to work on some stuff that
Yeah.
you're not gifted in is a
Yeah.
fool's errand. Do you have any idea what you're doing? You're robbing yourself of millions of dollars by sitting around trying to figure out some stuff that you weren't supposed to be doing in the first place. I don't understand half the tech stuff I do, and I own tech companies. It's
And
not
you're
my
absolutely
job.
right.
You
You're
do not
absolutely
listen.
right.
You show me a picture of Elon Musk building a rocket ship. I'll wait.
Right.
You show me when Jeff Bezos is delivering my groceries.
Right.
Right. They're not doing that. Warren Buffett is not sitting around pouring syrup in the Coca-Cola machines. You want to know why? Because he's busy being the boss. And the
Yes.
other part of that, and this is one thing I'm glad you touched on this, and this isn't just me this is a beat you upside the head stick for everybody. Desiree just happens to be the closest one to right now. But the thing of it is, we have to get ourselves to a point where we realize that we got to stop making excuses. Oh, Dave, I'm a one-woman show. It's so hard for me right now, and the finances might not necessarily be there. Do you have any idea how far $2.35 goes in the Philippines?
No.
Yeah, it goes really far. And let me put it to you this way: if you were to go to the Philippines right now with $1,000 in your pocket, you could stay in a villa the size of Scarface's villa. You could have private chefs, a masseuse, a trainer, the whole nine, and still come back with about $500.
I know where you're going with it, though. I feel where you're going with it.
Yeah, no, it's called virtual assistants, or what I call
Yes.
Dave Anderson's personal army of Oompa Loompas, right? And if you use them to complement the things that you aren't good at, and the good thing is, while you're sleeping, they're working, and you should be sleeping. Black people have this thing. I don't know where it came from. This whole team no sleep thing. I'm never making team no sleep. If
And
sleep
you're
is for
right.
suckers,
Right.
I'm a sucker.
And you know what? He said, I'm knocked out. He said, I'm waking up with bedhead and all.
All
And
that.
no, you're absolutely right. I am. And I was just playing. I wasn't saying it
Make
right
sure
now.
make sure my mohawk ain't crooked. It happened. Listen, because no, I want that rest. I need
Right.
that rest.
And he's right. And I am an accountable person, and I know that what I'm doing, I'm pulling myself backwards. I'm working backwards
Mhm.
because I'm not knowing and understanding what I should be doing. Now, when he said that, don't get it wrong. I remember from thinking about doing that before, like last year. But when you're right in the midst of some things, I'm gonna say this as an entrepreneur, and I'm telling you guys out there because this is some real conversation right here. When you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot of times you get so caught up in what needs to be done, you don't think about allocating those things out, because that is my weakness, and I identify that as my weakness. So yeah, I need to direct it out and not actually pull it in. And he's amazingly right. I mean, Philippines, Indonesia, China, Africa, even,
Mhm.
and you can find so many people from Fiverr, but you can connect with them off Fiverr and
Mhm.
be able to have a relationship and a dialogue with them. Because I've done that several years ago, and then I pulled away from it because my mind just wasn't thinking on that, which means you need to reduce your stress and confusion by getting rest, eating properly, working out, taking care of yourself so you can think on the level that you need to think to be a boss. It's not just how much money you have or what business you have. Being a boss is a mentality. Being a boss means that you know how to make the right decisions and the right moves at the right time, and you don't make decisions fast and change them fast. You make decisions as quickly as you can, but you take time to think about it and work through the process to make sure you're making the right choice, so you don't have to change your choice later.
Yep.
But he's amazingly right. And being a perfectionist, like I did say, that's not a good thing. And I know being a perfectionist is not a good thing, because what it does is you are so focused on this one little bitty thing trying to make it perfect, and you miss the whole step of all these other amazing things that you can do to make money, content, to make yourself great. You're allowing yourself to not think on the level you need to think to produce the content and the information that you need to produce to set yourself apart from other businesses. So what he's saying. And I'm glad I do need, and every entrepreneur needs a mentor and a coach to beat you over the head sometimes, because you get so caught up into this thing that you're focused on. You need to be smacked out of that focus so you can get outside the box and say, ooh, you know what? I'm glad you saved me, because you're right. And what Dave just did, that's a whole epiphany for me. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I know better. I didn't think about it, but I know better. Like, Des, you got to do better. When they say, you know better, you do better, it's not always true, because even though you know better, you don't think about it at the time, because you get caught up in the rambunctiousness and the chaoticness of business, and making sure that you're doing what you need to do. That's why we have people like Dave. You can't pass that smile up. You know what I mean? The mohawk and the smiles is the perfect, and it's gray on the sides and black on the top, which means, one, he ain't losing no sleep, and two, he's aging gracefully. So, and he got 12 businesses. That's a graceful age. How many of you out there can multitask on 12 businesses? Mind you, and I'm gonna put this out there, you cannot start 12 businesses at the same time.
Nope.
This took him time to build. You focus on one business, you get it up, you get it running, let it do what it do. Then you go to the next business, and then the next and the next. But you can't spread yourself too thin doing too many things at once. And I see that a lot in businesses with entrepreneurs now. Too many things going on at the same time. Yeah. So everybody out there, think about what it is you want. Think of that thing you want to produce for your business. But first, think about your self-awareness and the personal development that you need to get there in business. Now, I'm going to explain, Dave. I see that the Black Panther on the back of his chair is so cool. But I do want to just explain Dave's absence right now. His daughter is really, really sick, and he did still just, made himself present and available for this podcast to be here with me and to have this interview to drop some gems and some nuggets. So I greatly appreciate him for that. Don't mind him having to step out every now and again. He does have to check on his 6-year-old daughter who's very sick right now, and they need to go get her tested and do some things. But anyway, be mindful of what process you need to take. And as a coach, what I do is the self-awareness and personal development side, because I've learned through business and going through so many things in my life that there's nothing in this world, whatever your goal is in this world, there's nothing in this world that you can accomplish if you do not know who you are. If you do not know yourself first. And it's not like, they say, well, love yourself first so you can love other people. Know yourself first so you can know other people, because you can't even identify who your target audience is and who your clients are if you don't even know who you are. Because now, if you're all over the place, that's the energy you're putting out. That's the energy you're going to get back. You're going to get back people who are all over the place. But once you're confident and you know who you are here, you're going to attract people on that same level of knowing who they are, what they want, and why they're here. But they're going to tell you areas where they're stuck. And that's what they need to know, where they're stuck, so you can help them get past and break those boundaries and break those ties. When they say breakthrough, a breakthrough is you having a premonition, or you having that epiphany that helps you get over that hump where you were struggling at.
Facts.
So, yeah, and I was looking at your chair. It happened to flip a little closer on the back where Wakanda Forever. Yeah, I saw that on the back of your chair.
Yeah, that's actually that's my Wakandan bathroom. If you were to go on the inside of it, you would see that I have a vibranium toilet, lights up. I've got Killmonger's mask. I've got Dora Milaje spears. I've got the shield that Black Panther gave to Captain America. I've got Okoye. I've got everybody on my wall. I wanted my office. I have 2 offices. I have one here in the home, and then I have one downtown. But I wanted my office to reflect the childhood room I always wanted. You know what I'm saying? So I've got Iron Man over there. I've got Thanos' double-edged sword over here. Like I'm a huge kid, man. Like I got the Incredible Hulk. Well, it's green. You can't.
Yeah, you can't see him on the screen.
But he trust me, that was the Hulk.
I see Wonder Woman behind your head.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Classic comic book. Covers everything, man. Because I think tapping into your inner child is just as important as being a mature, serious business person. You know,
Yes.
I don't take myself too seriously. I will joke. I will laugh. I think that life is too short. But the one thing that I will tell you, Desiree, is life is meant to be lived. And okay, breathe, Dave. When I was a kid, my father would take me on trips and we would, sometimes we would fly, sometimes we would drive, sometimes we get on a train. And I remember once we were on a commuter train and he was like, look at all of these people. And I said, what do they all have in common? I said, well, they're all wearing suits. He said, dig deeper. What else do you see? I said, well, they don't look happy. He said, they got on $1,000 suits and they're absolutely miserable because they're going to a place that doesn't respect them and doesn't want them. He said, I don't care what you are in life. I just want you to be yourself. But above all that, I want you to be happy, because you can wear a suit and look like a bum because you're not happy to wear the suit.
Right.
And as a kid, I wasn't paying, like, it didn't register. Right? Now 16 years after my father's death, his words ring in my ears differently because that's why, I wear novelty t-shirts. That's why I still have my mohawk. That's why I have these Kevin Garnett sized diamonds in my ear, because I don't want to be anything other than what makes me happy, and I want to be who I am. And if I can't do that, like, and for years, that's where I'm be honest with you, when I was in TV and radio and music, I was what the industry wanted me to be. Some of
Right.
me was in there, but I would say it was 80-20. 80% their version of what they wanted Dave Anderson to be, and 20% mine. And their 80 always won out.
Right.
And I
No.
think so often we try to conform and we try to get everybody to like us. I don't need everybody to like me. I don't even need all black people to like me. I'm doing
Right.
quite well.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I need to like me. I need to be able to face myself in the mirror and like the person I see on the other side. And if I don't, I make changes so that I can constantly get to know myself and fall in love with myself. And we don't think that that's a big thing because we look at it like some type of metaphysical, hoity-toity mess. And it's not. It is the foundation of everything that we do, because you're at the core of everything. You're the common denominator in your life. If your relationships have sucked, if you had 3 baby daddies, or your relationships have sucked, you had 3 baby mamas, and they all say that you ain't no good, who's the common denominator? And even if they're all wrong, why do you keep choosing these types of people?
There you go, right there. You choose his words. I want to pull this out there. You choose, which means it's not them. Quit being the victim and blaming everybody for what's going on in your life. Quit blaming the baby mamas, baby daddies, and all these things, and my parents and this. Stop. When you stop blaming, you can start being accountable. When you're comfortable being who you are, you can be able to be vulnerable. You can be transparent. And that was the reason why I picked my name for the company, Blank Tag. Know who you are. Remove everything out of your life. Start blank and build the you. Build you on what you want to be, who you like. How do you feel inside? Because what I've learned on my journey is you're going to feel one way inside, but what your reflection to the outside world is completely different. And then you're wondering why you're getting the feedback from the outside world that you're getting, because you're not in alignment with who you are. You're all over the place. So you're showing and deflecting out of your 30, 40, 20, however many years on this earth you've been picking up parts of everybody that's been around you at work, at home, your relationships. You're picking up little pieces of them and creating habits in yourself that are reflections of them. And you don't even realize that you are that reflection. Now, I tell people, now you can take this how you want to. When you start talking about people and looking at other people and you feel a little some way about people, it is a mirror of you. You see it because that is who you are. So don't sit up there and feel comfortable talking about people and not looking at yourself first. That is your spirit telling you, hey, you see that? Yeah, I hate them. I hate that. Look what they're doing. That's because you do it, baby. You're going to recognize what you relate to, what you resonate with every single time. So use that as your tool and your catalyst to start learning who you are and start being more self-aware. I have a lot of techniques and things that I've tested and tried, beta tested, all kinds of things on a lot of my mentees to see how can I help your brain to click, to help you start seeing who you are. And that's why I do what I do, because It starts there. That was what I resonated with. I love leadership, and I was going to go into leadership coaching. And I'm like, there's something missing. And the missing piece for me was self-awareness, personal development, mindfulness. So I was like, you know what? I'm that coach, because that's what I resonate with. I took neuroscience. I've been studying that as just a hobby. I love it. Getting into metaphysics, getting into different things, because we are not just human. We have other elements of ourselves that interfere with what we're doing. So when, like Dave said, get out of your own way. If you don't really understand that you're not in alignment with your body, your consciousness, and your subconsciousness, you already losing. And that's why you keep hitting those stumbling blocks, and you keep hitting that brick wall, and you're trying to figure out, well, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing you right. That's what it is. Do you first, and then produce what you need to produce on the outside world, so you can try to stop regurgitating what you're seeing other people doing and trying to do what they're doing when that's not even for you.
Yep, facts. Absolutely. It's a necessity that many of us aren't willing to face.
It is. And you have to face you first. You got to take that accountability. You got to take that feedback. You have to understand it's not criticism, it's feedback. And the feedback, and however you word it in your own mind, that's your perception. That's how you're going to accept the information on the outside. So if you're like, well, you said criticize it, I think that's just negative. Read past that. Because sometimes when people are talking to you, they may not use the exact words that you're comfortable with, but think about what the narrative that they're talking about is, and then go and do the work. You have to do the work. And it's not, look, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be transparent right now. I went through so many things. I have been on my own since I was 16. I started speaking in public speaking with the 4-H club when I was 10 years old. The stage is not something I'm afraid of. And it's something that the Spirit has been building me for my entire life, because I'm coaching and mentoring. And that wasn't even my job preference. Now people just gravitate towards me, and they need help with things, and I help them, whatever, So my thing right now was, okay, Des, you've done so much for all these people. You still don't even know who you are. When I get questions like, Desiree, you're amazing. How do you do what you do? Especially when I'm turning over big $1 million projects on time and under budget. How do you do this? Like, how can you teach this? And I had to look at myself, and I couldn't teach it because I didn't understand how I did it. I just did it. And I told them I just did it, which means I didn't know myself.
Right.
So I had to pull back and like, hold on, wait a minute. I need to go do some self-work, because something is not lining up. And even with all the construction, with the pandemic and the close down and that last layoff, I was like, you know what? I need to learn who I am, because I really have to follow my purpose. I cut off everybody, left my relationship. I cut off everybody, got me a 1-bedroom apartment. I stayed in this 1-bedroom apartment by myself and did some deep, deep self-work. I've done so much work on myself. Look, and it's not easy. I've stayed up crying. I've stayed up frustrated. And I had to pull through all the things that were inside of me that were hurting, but I wasn't paying attention to, because you get so caught up in everyday life that the parts of you that are hurting or messed up or just all over the place, you don't give them enough attention to correct and fix it. Whatever that means to you, do it however you need to. I know a lot of people say your shadow work. A lot of people talk about going and finding your inner child and healing your inner child and all these other things. For me, it was like, look, I'm a straight shooter. I'm coming from right here and I'm moving forward. I don't even want to look back unless I'm reflecting on why do I do what I do. And I'm looking at milestones to see where my purpose really lies, which is why I'm into coaching, because as I've looked back in my life, so many parts of my life, I've been helping other people. I've been there for other people. So that's why I did what I do. And I'm very confident in what I do. And I have proven with people outside of myself. So I'm not saying that because I'm being cocky. I'm saying that because this is my outside world feedback. Desiree, I love what you do. Even my page at this point, if you even look at my page from last year to 5 years ago to right now, recently, total transformation. Even just the content that's coming out of my mouth, out of my words, and everything I post on my page comes from out of my mind. It's not something I regurgitated from somebody else. It's coming straight from here to you. Find your inner strengths, find your inner skills, your ability. What are you here for? And a lot of that is just looking back on what you've been drawn to majority of your life that you haven't been paying attention to. What have you
Can't
been
argue that.
ignoring? Right. What
Can't
have you
argue
been
that.
ignoring?
Uh,
So your journey, Dave, we touched in yours, but I know, like you said, you've had to do a lot of self-reflection,
oh yeah.
a lot of mirror work.
Oh,
What works for you as far as becoming an entrepreneur and having these 12 businesses and being able to keep you in check?
um, I it took a long time for me to be able to trust myself. Um, because I was always taught, oh, well, before you do anything, go get such and such's opinion and go see such and such and then run this past this person, run this past person, and then, you know, in my journey from a spiritual perspective, what I realized is, you know, God didn't give the world E equals MC squared. He gave it to Einstein. You know, God didn't give gravity to the entire world. He gave the concept to Newton. You know, um certain things, right, are only going to make sense to you because they're specifically for you, and because they come through you from God, they're going to have an impact on the world, but you have to be that conduit, right? And that's the first thing I learned. The second thing I learned is, you know, you got to constantly feed this. There is a neglected piece of real estate every single human being owns, and it's right between their ears. It's 2 square feet of real estate, and it's automatically the most neglected, underappreciated, overlooked, and completely underutilized for ourselves. It's our brain, right? This 2 square feet of real estate I got between my ears, you know, has generated millions upon millions upon millions of dollars for corporations, for individuals. You know, I joke and I say I put more single moms in the 1% than Future and Nick Cannon at an orgy, but it's the truth. You know,
Right.
like it's an amazing situation for somebody to go from making 30, 40, $50,000 a year in making 30, 40, $50,000 a month. You know, it's a different ball game at that point. On top of that, what I found is the Bible says, "Be ye not conformed to this world." In other words, be yourself. Be who God called you to be. Don't let them change you into what they want you to be. We've already got, what did T-Pain say? We already got that, right? We've literally got two people with baby, and then we already got. I'm gonna need you to be you because God made you to be you. And if you're not you, then what purpose do you serve?
Right.
Right? It says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. In other words, in order to get to a new level, your brain and the way that you process things and the way that you view things and what you've been exposed to has to upgrade itself, right? You know, this iPhone is a different iPhone than the first one that came out, 07, 08. You feel me?
Right.
Now, there are some similarities. There's an Apple logo, you know, it's got a lock screen on it and Safari's on it. And that's about where the similarities end. You're made for this particular time. You're not made for your parents' time. And so when your parents are telling you, oh, go get a job and, you know, dust off that resume and, you know, go pound the pavement, that's because that's what worked for their iPhone 1 behinds, right?
Right.
Your iPhone 12 behind don't know nothing about, like, the world is not going to go back. When people sit up here and say, well, my child has too much screen time, guess how much screen time they're going to have when they're our age? They're going to have a contact lens that they'll use, like in
Seeing
Minority
everything.
Report, or like when you see with Iron Man, he's got all the screens in front of him. That's what it's going to be. It's not going to be less of that,
Right.
right? So we've got to condition ourselves for what's happening right now. Take the basics and the good stuff, or what TD Jake says, eat the meat and discard the bones of what works and get rid of stuff that doesn't. You've got to be able to put yourself in that position. And so I read 2 books a week, which is 104 books a year, you know, because the average CEO reads 10. So I'm doing 10.4, you know, times what they're doing, simply because I have to run faster, jump higher, and spit farther than anybody because I'm a straight black man in America who has an attitude. So, you know, I'm not going to discount that. The other thing that has worked very well for me is my mom. I love my mom. My mom is 75 years old. She's living her best life in Arizona, doing mahjong and water aerobics or whatever 75-year-olds with their right minds do. Okay, which is whatever
Yeah.
the hell she wants. Um, she would say to me all the time, David, always go with your first mind. Your first mind will never steer you wrong. Anytime I said, really shouldn't mess with that girl. And what the hell? Disaster. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't have that 15th slice of carrot cake. And what the hell? Nope. That's why I'm losing weight now, because I had to reject sweets and a lot of other things. Like once I trusted my first mind, I trusted my instincts. I'm constantly educating myself, reading all different types of books, listening to things that empower me. Like the last thing I'll say is what you consume, not just what you're reading. Right? It's a great book by Megan McGlover. It's called Stop Lying. You got to pick it up. It's a phenomenal book.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah, if your diet, watch this, if your diet is consistent of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Basketball Wives, Love and Hip Hop, Clap Your Booty Cheeks 3 times in a circle, P Valley, and Power, and you wonder why you can't get out of that cubicle and you're not going to be considered for that promotion, that's why.
Ooh.
You are what you eat. And whether you realize it or not, that's feeding you too.
Yes.
And I don't know if you know this, right? Your head is the central hub for everything else. Your eyes, your mouth, your taste buds, what you put in your stomach, the way that your heart is beating, everything comes down to what's happening with the head. The heart has to pump blood to it, but the head focuses, and what you focus on, you attract. So if you focus on ratchet behavior, you wonder why you got ratchet behavior. That's what it is. If you focus on thug loving and you wonder why you sleeping with Lamondre and having babies by Lamondre and Steve and Dave, and you want a high value man, but you messing with a high energy bagger.
Oh my good. Look, tell the truth, spit it out. Tell the truth and spit it out. Look, y'all, you cannot think that it's okay to say, and I've heard so many people, I don't know how many times I've heard this. I'll say, that's not really good for you to listen to, so much of X, Y, and Z, or to watch these shows or to do that because you're feeding your mind. Oh, I know, but it's just, and I tell people, as soon as you say anything else besides yes and no, it's a deflection.
It is.
And it's an excuse. And excuses are deflections, an area you need direction. So wherever you need direction, those are the areas you're deflecting. And those are what gets the excuses and all the other things. Stop deflecting information. When you know, you do it. Don't just do it. If you know that, it's a joke, or I'm just playing. Well, it's not. Well, your subconscious doesn't play. God says there is hot or cold. There's no lukewarm. It's black or white. There's no gray area.
Facts.
Humans made up these gray areas because that's where they camp with all the excuses and they can live in this little spot. No, make a choice and make a decision. That's why you're all over the place. You can't make a decision for your life because you're living in this gray area. You're living in this lukewarm water trying to be comfortable. No, go jump in that hot water and burn up a little bit. Go jump in this cold water and freeze a little bit, but make a choice.
But here's the thing. I tell this to people all the time. People say, well, why are you so into the Bible? Is it because you're a theologian? Is it because you're a minister? No, I'm into the Bible. There's a comic book called The Book of Eli. There's also a movie, Denzel Washington's in it.
Yes.
Right? And there's a line where Gary Oldman's character says, it's not a book. It's a weapon.
Yes.
I go to my arsenal and the weapon says to me, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. It says, in all thy getting, get an understanding. Right? It also says you were neither hot nor cold, so you were lukewarm, so I spew you out of my mouth. Listen, I'm a hot boy. I ain't never going to be cold. You understand? So at the end of the day, like, my boldness comes from understanding who I come from. I come from the source. When you understand that you come from God, you move differently. I don't like people like, well, what's it like having, billionaires and millionaires for mentors? It's phenomenal. You want to know why? Because as much as I'm talking here, when I'm sitting down at country clubs that they don't let our black asses in, having breakfast being served by people who may or may not have their green cards. Phenomenal omelets, by the way. At that point, Desiree, this is me.
Exactly. Shut up. I be telling people, you talk too much. You can't be around millionaires and billionaires and running your mouth because you're not where they are. You do not know what they know. You're there to learn, absorb, and to get that information. Look, that's my whole goal is to be around millionaires and to get that information and get that download because they have the information I don't have. They are where I am going, not
That's it.
trying to go where I am going. So get what you're talking about. My journey is my journey, and I know that it's going to come to me. And I tell people all the time, I used to always wonder, well, you know what? There's no manual for this life. And then you hear people saying there's no manual. And I said, wait. It is a manual. The Bible is a manual. The Bible talks about your brain and how you're supposed to think and function and move in this world. And then they take it and they skew the information and not even talk about everything in there. And they don't give it to you so you can understand that you are the weapon you need for the success for your life.
Right. And
You
God
have
needs
to
you.
build you.
He
Right.
needs you right now to be who he needs you to be. First of all, God don't want no you see a whole bunch of losers in church. I'm just going to keep it a buck, right? God don't need you to be no loser. Because God don't reward losers. Because you can't exalt a loser because a loser that's the God you serve?
They losing. They gonna continue to lose.
You keep your whack ass God in your mediocre dollar store great value heaven. I don't want no parts of it. I serve a God that part of the Red Seas. I serve a God that said a kid from the slums who got a 725 on his SATs can go out here, snap necks, cash checks, and change lives. So at the end of the day, right? I'm a success story, not because of me, but because God chose me to show you that he can still take the dregs of society and turn them into something. He could take somebody that y'all ostracized and said wasn't nothing and turn them into something that you look up to, and you can't stop him. You could not stop or cancel God's purpose no matter what you do. And I stand on that. And what I realize is a lot of other people will never get to where I am, whether you think it's good or bad to be where I am. They won't ever get there because they're so busy worried about what somebody's going to think about them, their opinions, their stance on the world. And I'm just not here for it. I got to take my kid to get a COVID test, but I wanted to say thank you, one, for being patient with me. I know we've been trying to get this together. Two, thank you for your platform because there's not too many places where people can speak freely about what it takes to get to the next level. And new media is so important. Understanding that we need connectivity is so critical to be able to come on here and empower people, even if they're not getting it in mass right now. When people look back, and that's what I was saying about your perfection argument, because while you may be a perfectionist, you admitted it yourself. You caught yourself in your own lie because you said, yeah, if you were to go back 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago and look at where I am now and the way that I speak now, it's different. Even though you're pursuing perfection, it's vapor. I don't know what perfection is. I keep trying to get there. Aside from my wife, I ain't never seen it. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, all we have to do is trust in the mission, believe in who we are, and find ourselves present in the moment. Because once we find ourselves present in the moment, then we can take those moments and they have compound interest over time, like a high yield savings account, like a Roth IRA, like you should have for your children. Lastly, I definitely want to do a second part where I know I can devote an hour. This was completely unexpected. My baby started, listen. But I want to thank you for bearing with me. I hope everybody can follow me at The Business Bully. If you need anything, you have my information. But I want to schedule a second part to this real soon because there's a lot of stuff I want to cover that I don't have time to cover because I got to get this baby out here and I don't want to get yelled at by my boss. I called my wife upper management because that's the only person I'm answering to.
Right. I get it. Trust me.
I don't want, listen, I'll take smoke from all of y'all. I don't want no smoke from her.
Right. Okay. That's your other half. That completes you.
That's the better half.
Right.
Listen, if you had to choose between me and her in a street fight, choose me. You might get out alive. She a killer. And in order to live this life, In order to live this life, you need a killer with you, because you need
Yes.
somebody to be like, listen, hell with them. We gonna keep going. I almost quit. I almost went back to work, and she said, you can't do it. Every time you do it, you'll either wind up taking somebody's job and then they're miserable and mad at you, or you're going to get fired for telling people the truth. So like, let's cut all that out. Let's figure it out. And let's make it happen. And so at the end of the day, man, I do this for my family, and I do this, for people who look like me and everybody else who believes in what we're trying to do. So again, thank you for this platform. Please, get with my folks so we can make this happen again very, very soon. I hope I brought some value to you.
Always.
Thank you so much for having me. I gotta run, but I love you. Thank you so much.
You are so amazingly welcome. Thank you for being here, and I will reach out to you, and we'll catch you back up next month.
I'll see you soon.
All right. All right, everybody. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I do want to touch on some key points and some spots that we talked about throughout this meeting. If you are not where you want to be at, if you are not doing what you want to do, please, please, please reach out today at the Business Bully. Get that information. Those are just some nuggets that you truly need to be successful and go where you want to go and to get you where you want to be at in your life. I am always here as a coach. Reach out to me to get you started on your journey with self-awareness and personal development. I just launched coming on every Wednesday, where I can go and I can speak with you, I could pour into you, I could give y'all the information y'all need, just touching on the bases. I'm not even going to be fake about it or lie. I'm going to give you some valuable information every Wednesday. However, it's not going to be, of course, in depth, right? That's going to be more one-on-one or more group sessions where everybody is in alignment looking for the same thing. There's a humongous audience out there. So I'm going to touch on bases where it can just help you get started. I can give you some tips and tricks on what I've done, what my mentees have done, and different things that I've learned from my coaches and mentors who have gotten me to make me understand what my journey is to get me to where I'm now walking in my purpose. I do feel, Dave, there are days that, even right now, and I'm just now getting really started in this part where I'm ready to just forget it. Let me go back to construction. I make 6 figures over there. I could just do what I need to do there in construction, but I'm not fulfilled in construction. I'm good at it. I love it. I could take blueprints to any building and we could put it together and build it. I now want to take the blueprints for you in your life and get you to where you want to be at. I want to help you see the rooms that you don't see. I want to help you build the new level on your life that you want to build and don't know how to actually start scaling up to build that in yourself. I work on self. Dave's going to work on everything else and get you to wherever you got to be as far as your business goes. But until you start investing in yourself, mind first, and business, and if you already start the business, start investing on your mind so you can expand your business to get it where you want it to be. It takes work, it takes time, and it takes a whole lot of different people around you who understand your journey to help you get to your journey. Now, I want to go over this one quick framework that I've been, working on, got it in class, the whole 9. I graduated, I got I'm certified life coach and certified personal development practitioner and an NLP practitioner. And I did these things because not just for my journey and understanding myself and who I am and where I'm going, but until I can understand and really dive deep and understand this journey, is then I can overstand it to give it to you through my experiences of what I've been through. So we call it the PI framework, right? And it's problem definition. What is your problem? What is the problem that you have? What is your number one problem? Starting 1 with self problem. 2, what is your business problem? Because a lot of times the biggest problem you have in your business will probably be, and more than likely, a direct reflection and mirror to the problem you have with self. Understand that your business, the way you build your business framework, you're building it from your mindset. And if you have issues here it's going to reflect in your business. It's going to reflect in your employees. It's going to definitely reflect in your teams. And you don't want it to reflect in your teams. You want to make sure that the framework that you're building, the system that you're building for your business, and that system that you're building for yourself are in alignment. Two, you're going to identify the goals you're trying to reach. There's times that you have a problem and your problem is reaching this goal that you want. One, a lot of times you don't know how to reach the goal. Two, not only that you don't know how to reach the goal, but you don't have the right tools to get there. And that's when you start getting coaches and mentors to help you get to where you want to go, where you see yourself going. And three, you want to evaluate your priorities. A lot of times your priorities will get in the way of what you're trying to build for yourself to get to your goals. And those are part of the problems is what your priorities, if your priorities are off, that's going to create a problem. If you are not aware, self-aware, and there's some issues that you have that are unconscious issues that you're not really consciously looking at and aware of, those are going to create issues in your business as well, because your outside is a reflection of everybody in your team. Your team is looking at you and they are going to mimic you, just like when kids are growing up, your kids mimic you and they follow what you're doing and they watch everything that you're doing and they're going to do what you do. Your team is going to be the same way. Okay, you need to look at your team, and what you see in your team is not them, it's you. Change you, show by example, lead by example, and show them that you changed. They'll see it. You don't even have to tell them, show them. Let them feel you. And I use that often because I tell people I'm not as much as what I'm saying or how I'm saying it, but I need you to feel what I'm saying, which then goes back into how I'm saying it. The energy that I put into the words that I use when I'm speaking to people, and especially the words that I choose to use as I'm speaking with you, is how you feel what I'm saying. And I teach my leaders that, it's not just about what you're saying. It's definitely how you're saying it. But the words you're using, the energy behind it, makes it all the difference. I can tell one person, I love you. I could tell this person, I love you. And just the way I said it, there's a different feeling, like I love you. And if you want people to feel you, you want people to connect to you, they need to feel you. They need to trust you. They need to be able to know that they're real, that you're real. They're looking at you like she's a real one. He's a real one. I could trust this person. What they're saying, they on some real stuff. And like I tell anybody, I don't care what I say. You could agree or disagree. It doesn't really make me a difference because I know by experience what I'm saying is real. If you don't believe me, go and do the research. I can prove to you what I'm saying is true. It depends on if you are open-minded enough to do the work. Are you open-minded enough and resilient enough to go through the process of doing the work? Because it's not easy. It is not, it's not easy. But first off, going back to my pie and going through the problem and defining your problem, then you need to select which one, because sometimes you have multiple problems. So now you need to categorize how you're going to address these problems. Which one comes first? Which one comes next? Because if you hit a problem that is not going to make a immediate impact on your business, then you're going to not see any progress in your changes. And then you're going to get distracted because you're going to feel defeated. You're going to feel like, well, this isn't working. It may not be working because of how you are working it. Everything works if you're working it the right way. You can't start from, like they said, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It doesn't matter where you start at on the elephant, but you can't eat the whole elephant and you can't shove the whole elephant in your mouth. You got to figure out which bite is going to be more fulfilling for you. Where do you want to start? Start with your problems in the same way. Have a system for attacking those problems, just like you have a system for your business, you have a system for your life. You have systems that are embedded that are called values. They're built off of your values, and your values are directed to your perception in life. If whatever you perceive in life, depending on how you perceive it, is going to build your value system. And then your value system is basically a group of laws and rules that you have for your subconscious and consciousness for your life on how your subconscious mind and your conscious mind is going to react and how it's going to respond in this world. I use react because a lot of times if you are not evolved mentally, you're going to have a lot of reactions and you're going to be reacting to emotion. You know, I talk about that all the time. Stop reacting to your emotions and start responding to the situation, right? Shelf your emotions. Learn how to shelf your emotions during certain times. It's amazing to have emotions because those are key indicators of what's going on around us in our outside world and what we're supposed to feel, right? Those are warning signs, just like in your dashboard in your car, when you get a warning light, that light may be yellow, the light may be red, you know, you got to identify what kind of warning lights you have. Emotions are the yellow warning light, right? You feel that emotion, and now it's up to you, like God gives you free will. What is your choice of what you're going to do with the information you received, whether positive or negative? You could respond by responding to the situation. What is the narrative of that situation? Respond to that. Shelf the emotions, respond to the narrative. And when you do need to be emotional during happy times, or when you need to release negative emotions because you've lost someone or something really bad or traumatic happened in your life, I'm not telling you to say, forget your emotions and just roll. No, identify your emotions, understand your emotions, have that moment with your emotions in that aspect. And then you need to release those negative emotions, because the negative emotions are going to hinder you and stop you from being the productive self that you can be, in your best self. You have to show up in business. You can't just half-heartedly run through your business. You have to show up every day. Like Dave was saying, you can't put on $1,000 suit and act like you want to be a boss, because everybody is going to see all through that smoke and mirrors that you're walking around in. And until you understand and know yourself, that $1,000 suit is nothing more than you might as well get it from the Goodwill. You might as well go somewhere and just get it from, a very inexpensive, thrifty place, because that suit is nothing when it comes to your identity, your personality, what you believe, who you are, and the systems that you have for your life that you follow. It doesn't mean anything. That $1 billion car, and I'm just being facetious right now. Of course, you don't have $1 billion car. Well, I'm sure there are some cars out there that could probably be about $1 billion putting enough work into it. However, when you have a very expensive car, and I have this very expensive suit, and I have these very expensive trinkets as far as my hair done, my makeup, and since I'm a female, if you're a guy, you get your mustache, your haircut, your hairstyle, your shoes, the whole nine. The package you put yourself in could be a very expensive package, but what's inside the package can be nothing more than a lump of coal, because you haven't processed coal to become a diamond, so you can shine through all of that expensive things that you have built around yourself. If you want to shine correctly, build the right environment around yourself, so when you're walking in that newness of these expensive items and things, you're going to shine the right way. People are going to perceive you and understand you for how you shine. They don't care about your clothes and your shoes. You can walk in front of any multi-millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire, because they're out there. Trillionaires are there now, right? You can't walk in front of them in those expensive items with coal inside of you, because they're going to see it. Because guess what? They've been down there in that ditch with the coal also. They know what coal looks like. Until you polish yourself by going through the self-awareness work, getting your personal development under control, and understanding who you are and what you have inside, so we can match your outside and match that million, billion, $1 trillion look that you want, they're not going to take you serious anyway. Match the inside first. Do the inside work first, and then your outside world will gravitate to you, and then it will become part of your reality. You can't manifest things in your life of greatness if you are not great inside your mind. And it's more than just saying, I'm great. I know I'm great. Those are just words. There is knowledge, understanding, and action that goes behind those words to give you an experience that shows that you know those words and that you deserve to sit at this table with these multimillionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. You have to earn the right to sit there. You have to earn the right in business to be called the GOAT, the guru. And if you're uncomfortable being called the GOAT and the guru, that may just not be that's just not for you. Everybody doesn't want to be up there on that status of luxury and elegance and poshness. And I don't say bougie because I don't think anybody really looked up the word bougie and where it derived from and what it actually means. And the original definition of bougie is a middle-class person trying to live on this luxurious upper-class lifestyle. They know you're from down there. They know you're middle class or lower class. They know you're just trying to fit in. You don't fit in until you mentally fit the profile. When you are mentally arrived, you could look like a bum and you don't care because the confidence and the knowledge and of the information that you have from the experience in your life, you can actually articulate that on the way that is so eloquent that they know that you deserve to sit at this table, even if you're wearing scrubs, even if you're wearing bikini bathing suits or nothing at all, you're there in your birthday suit. They know you deserve to be there. It's not about what you put yourself around and how much you masquerade and cover up all the pain and negativity that you feel and know that you have inside that you won't even admit to and be accountable of. Because not only one, can they see it in your conversation, see it in you and understand it through your conversation, but they can feel it through your energy. You can't mask, you can't put no makeup on that energy. You can't put makeup on your energy to make you look like and feel like a multi-millionaire when inside, you know, good and well, you're mediocre and you ain't shit. I'ma say it, you're not shit. Don't be a not shit person. Let's be a somebody and let's match your outside with your inside. Not everybody wants to be a multi-billionaire, but they do want to be successful on their level, on their terms. Reach out to me. I'm always here. Of course, like I said, I am starting my classes every Wednesday. They're not paid, they're free. They're in my business group page, blank_tag_ on Facebook. Go there, you can find the information. You can also find the flyer and the information pinned on my personal page, Desiree Passionate One Williams. If you look under Passionate One, Desiree Williams will be a lot easier for you to find. I actually attached that word to my name on Facebook actually many years ago. Like I think I started Facebook about 12, 13 years, maybe 14 years ago. I attached that name to myself then because I am very passionate about what I do, what I learn, and who I'm around. I am a passionate person and I am here for you. Everything around me is passionate. Everything exudes passionate because I care about you. I care about your success. I care about your life and I care about your greatness. Why do I care so much? Because your energy is still connected to me because we are all one. And when you are moving in your greatness and you're happy and you're successful on the level that you want to be successful on, then we all feel it. We all feel good. And guess what? Now I can move higher on the level of my success or where I want to move because that energy comes back to me. And that's where, like I tell people, I work for the universe. I work for that universal energy because that universal energy is going to bring it back to me 10-fold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. That's why I care so much about you. So yes, get into those classes every Wednesday. We're going to be just talking about self-awareness and personal development every single Wednesday. I don't need to have themes and everything every single week because the theme is going to stay the same. Now the conversation is not going, it's going to be whatever you choose. I don't have topics of conversation because I'm not going to build that topic around that total conversation. I'm here for you. So as we get on each call, depending on how our energy flows and what you need to know, that's where we go. I didn't even try to rhyme, but that sounded amazingly great. However, you can also email me this side. You can email me. Sorry, this is my sore shoulder, the one I had surgery on. So I tend to not use this one as much, but I need to. hit me right here, DesireeWilliams@blanktag.org. You can send me an email. I can send you all the information and also send you the registration link. It is every Wednesday. You just register for the class. It is space limited because I can only fit so many people on Zoom class. Once it's full, it's full when it's full. So make sure that you register and get in there soon. And meet with me every Wednesday. We can have interactive dialogue and actually get all the questions that you want answered as much as I can answer them within the 1 hour period. And if you ever need more, you know where to reach me at. You can always book a session. You can always do what you need to do, but I'm not going to sit up there and say everything and all the information I'm going to give you is going to be free. But I'm here to give you some free information. I'm here to give you some free downloads and some free nuggets, because we all need that. We all need to feel like, can I just get some real information without having to feel like I got to pay for it and get to know who this person is and not even know who this person is, right? So reach out to me. You can also find me on Instagram. I started the YouTube page. It's under Desiree Williams because I got to do that part first before I can hit the business. But your whole banner, it says blank tag, so you know which one it is. But you can do the YouTube channels. We'll start October 1st. So I'll start getting YouTube. I worked on it this month. I know I was going to say I was going to do it on September 1st. October 1st, YouTube is going to start hitting. Come into the classes. I will also start 3-day master classes, which will be every other month. And that will start in November. So definitely get with me. Let's get you going in the right path to get your life to change in the right direction where you wanted to. Let's get into that self-discovery so you can start to manifest the results in your life that you are looking for and reframe your thoughts to understand different perspectives, to also inhabit different perspectives so you can change your lives and also change the habits you have for your life. Till next Saturday, we'll have a new guest. And definitely, like I said, catch me on Wednesdays, and I will see you then. Have an amazing weekend. I'll see y'all later. Bye.